They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
I'm ready, Master. The long dream we were forced to take has come to an end.
And from the top rope, it's El Blanco going after Santo.
That's a hit that only God can understand. Sorry, I couldn't say it. I couldn't do it. You couldn't jump into that fast. You jumped into it immediately, and I didn't know what to do. And then we
just
have
like Santo.
And then we have a third person here who's a fucking professional and doesn't actually just jump in without being introduced.
Hello. Hi.
That's right, it's Blue Demon.
Oh my god, it's the TheJewker's opening music.
I am the Blue Demon. Hello. It is nice to meet you.
Welcome to Rough Cuts, everyone.
God damn it.
Happy to be here.
Sure, that's an opening. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
He only doesn't care because he's not editing this week.
It's not my problem.
Alright. Well, hi, I'm your host, and this is my wonderful co-host, Boix.
Hello.
And our third special guest, TheJewker.
Hey, what's up? Happy to be here after the hurricane happened. We had to cancel. That was an experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
And as we saw while watching this film, Santo and Blue Demon were not going to do anything to help you with that.
They really weren't.
No.
I probably would have just been like, I guess we'll just play chess.
If anything, they would have made it worse.
A hurricane is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, much like watching Santo suplex that window.
For sure.
Anyway, this is episode 150. Somehow we've done 150 of these, but the list is still bigger than it was before of what we need to watch.
It's literally an endless well. Every time that we think that we've eliminated something, 3 more spawn. We've found the movie equivalent of a Hydra.
There's apparently, 10 Santo movies, I want to say, with werewolves in them at some point.
This is the problem. This is the problem. Every time that we find some new weird shit, there's another bunch of weird shit underneath it.
Yeah, Santo apparently did 55 movies on his own, and that's not counting anything that Blue Demon did.
At least.
At least.
Oh my god. Okay, that's way more
they
than I
crossed
realized.
over a little bit, but
Sure.
I'm sure.
Only 20 years, I think. 61 to 83, something around there. So, right up until his death, I think. It was pretty close.
Pretty much.
Dang.
It's wild.
But just that many movies, though, is just surprising. Like, there's a lot of actors that act throughout their whole lives and don't do 55 movies.
It's like 3 movies a year for 20 years straight.
These were probably really cheap to do, and if I had to guess, judging by the amazingly ridiculous number of werewolves and vampires that I quickly looked over, it seems like they probably just reused the same makeup and actors and probably are just like, well, we got the Wolfman outfit. Do you guys want to do 5 Wolfman movies?
Yeah, I want to do another one.
Year?
Yeah, sure. It's still got to be a lot of work when you're also doing, the whole luchador thing, which is kind of the other thing that he's doing, I'm guessing.
Yes. For those who don't know, El Santo is a legend for Mexican culture. He's this big luchador, followed only by Blue Demon, probably the second best luchador. So they make an interesting tag team. That's not really reflected in the movie very well.
I was gonna say, well,
yeah.
We get 2 full wrestling matches with each of them. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, and then we get the end.
Yeah, instead of a tag team, I'd say they're more like Batman and Robin, I guess.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, but the detective Batman and Robin, not the superhero Batman and Robin.
God,
they're very good at being spies. Because
Yeah.
they have like a spy watch at one point for some reason. I don't really know why they have that.
I don't know.
Well,
It
because
didn't really matter. So.
Santo invented it, so
Oh, of
he
course.
had to.
No, he didn't invent that for the movie. He invented that, and it's like, hey, we got to put it in the film. I made this cool transmitter watch.
I've got a patent, please. I need this.
This
Santo's
particular-
real hard up. Santo's real hard up for money. I need more money so that I can change my costume every scene. You have no
Oh my
idea how
God.
much these suits are costing me.
I kind of want to go back and just do
Count
a
suits,
count of how
yes.
many times he has changed
Yeah.
suits. El Santo basically changes outfits. I want to say every day he recorded, he just came in with a different outfit and said, good enough, this is how I'm going to do it. I only do one take. We'll just do this, and we'll go with it. And, nobody questions every time he changes because he's El Santo.
He's fucking
But
El Santo.
he's got at least like 20 outfits, right? Something
There's
like
a
that.
lot. Yeah. Most of them are turtlenecks, but they also have like cardigans or jerkins or jackets, or sometimes they change in the same scene.
Yes, he'll
depending on
walk
when
like
they
out of
shot
the
it.
room and then just have a jacket on. And they never show
Yeah.
him putting it on.
Well, he'll have a jacket on, and the turtleneck underneath is different. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
it's one thing if he came out with a jacket on, but it's a totally different outfit.
I definitely
the mid-
remember there's that scene where he's got it's like a sweater vest jerkin, and it's like a bright yellow green, and then he's just missing it. I think it's a different outfit that he's wearing in the next scene.
Yo,
And Blue Demon does it too, because Blue Demon also has that like purple cardigan over
Yes.
his blue turtleneck, and then it changes to like a blue turtleneck with like red and yellow stripes for some reason, and then just they're all different costumes. There's no costumer. Nobody came in and made costumes for this movie.
no,
Outside
that
of,
was
like,
the
Dracula
actual.
and
No,
Wolfman.
that was the actual Wolfman and Dracula. There's no costumes. They just
just showed
actually
up.
rescued them.
Yeah, that was them.
Yeah.
They actually revived them from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a special effect or anything. They just resurrected them.
Yeah, with the power of Satan. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
thanks
yeah.
to Dr. Eric.
Eric.
Dr. Eric. Yes. God, fuck. I forgot.
I don't remember his actual name. I just remember he mentions at one point his name is Eric.
No, you're saying that is his actual name. That's the thing.
It is.
His name is Eric. Yeah.
They just call him Eric. Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
like, the genius, Eric.
Eric
Who
the
resurrected
Hunchback,
us.
who is not Igor, but in other Santo movies there is a Dr. Igor,
Okay.
which is not
Okay.
a Frankenstein thing.
Hmm.
It's like they're just picking names at random. But regardless, Eric is not a good name for a villain. I'm not
It's
gonna
not.
look at, oh no, it's Eric. Oh geez.
Well, Eric wasn't a very good villain. I mean, do you remember
No.
how
No.
he went out?
No.
Oh, it's great how he goes out.
Oh
Oh
God.
my god. So I guess anyway, there's a huge mythos behind Santo and Blue Demon. 50 plus 60 some movies. And we're kind of jumping in near the end, I think, actually, because this is one of the last movies, I want to say.
Yeah, we don't know if these are regular characters, all these characters. The Crystallis family, I believe they said. They might have been a regular.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Crystallis. I think that's right.
And
This is one of the
the
last
Doctor?
10 or so movies, so
Like, was that Doctor a regular character? Did he get scarred in one of the other movies? And then they went, oh no, well, I'll have to get revenge. I'll
Sorry,
summon
by
Dracula.
the Doctor, you don't mean the Professor guy. You mean
No.
Eric.
No,
Eric?
not Professor Crystallis. We mean Dr. Eric,
Please call him
of
Dr. Eric.
of course.
I need to,
that's his
I need to
name.
know his please
Yeah.
use his proper name. I need to know.
So there's that. This movie also the runtime of the film is an hour 33,
Mm-hmm.
and I think 33 minutes of that is padding,
Yes.
at least.
Yeah.
How much of the movie was wrestling matches?
30?
30.
minutes, probably?
Probably.
I think it was 3 10-minute matches.
And then
Yeah,
they
so-
got like an extra 3 minutes out of, just having some long extended shots of like Dracula looking in windows or Blue Demon looking in windows. And then of course there's the technique that none of us have seen before. Juker was describing how you worked at a movie theater and you'd watch all the garbage constantly.
Yes, that is correct. So I worked at a movie theater for 4 years, and anytime it was break time, I would just go into the projector room and, riff movies, like basically what we were doing, but on my own. And, I saw everything, no matter how good or how bad it was. I have never, ever seen a movie, from the ridiculous amount of movies that I have seen, stall for time by slowing down the footage.
Very obvious slowdown, too. That's the thing.
So good. I fucking died when they did it. It killed me a little bit. She's walking down the hall, and they're like, oh, fuck, we need an extra 30 seconds, guys. All right, I got this. Timeline, 50%. There you go. Done.
Yeah, I mean, they also have plenty of scenes where, like, a character's walking somewhere, but they show the entire sequence of them walking there.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of these tricks going on. It's just the slowing of the footage is so wild.
My favorite of the, like, let's just hold on this and not cut away is Blue Demon. Sorry, I have to say it that way because that's how they say it in the movie. It just kills me. But Blue Demon climbing the tree to take a sneak peek in the window because he very obviously is like, motherfucker. Fuck this goddamn tree. Like, it's like you just, like, see the wheels turning in his head, just like, god damn it, I can't, do I pull myself this, where do I wrap my leg? Like, he just can't figure that tree out. He's, like, really struggling to climb this small tree, and they're just like, do we do another should we just hold it? Yeah, just leave it there. I don't know. Just wait. He'll get there eventually. He's going.
Did the director tell Blue Demon to climb the tree, or did Blue Demon be like, "Oh, it'd be great if I climbed the tree"?
I gotta show off my muscles.
Yeah, I gotta show off how good I am.
There's no way that he wanted that kept in with the way that he climbed that tree, because that was not smooth.
God.
That was a directorial decision, not a Blue Demon decision.
But yeah, there's 3 wrestling matches, which are just padding, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the movie. They fight El Angel Blanco and some guy with hair. I don't remember his name.
His name was Hippie.
Hippie.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, it was
Hippie.
Something hippie. Yeah.
Hippie with the mole on his shoulder, the very hairy mole.
Yeah, it looked like it is probably like 6 inches long and about 2 inches wide, and we're like, wow, that's like a really big mole. And then it gets clearer a couple times, and you're like, wait, it's just a single patch of hair. Like, just kind of halfway between his chest and his shoulder, and he's, like, wrestlers, they probably, like, shaved everywhere else, right? Like, to show off the muscles and everything. And you're like, is this like a style choice? Or like why does he just keeps a little badge of honor just right there? Just, just a little.
It felt like an Austin Powers joke to me.
A little bit.
Like a makeup joke in the background just to mess with you. But I think that was just that guy. I think he just looks like that. I don't know.
I call it the tickler.
Just... like, because then when he headlocks you, right? Your face is right up against it, right? It's like, yeah, I got him. I got him. Right? But yeah, there's 3 wrestling matches. It even ends on a wrestling match, which is very funny. But describing what happens in this movie, I think is going to be a little tough.
It really is, and like we paid attention to the full movie, but it was just so confusing of a plot. Like, I guess they expected you to have watched every other film. It almost felt like a Marvel movie in that if you jump into Infinity War, you will have no clue what's going on. That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out a wild theory here.
Shoot.
That you do not need to watch any of the other films to get any extra context on this, because I don't think that they'll give you any.
Probably not. But it feels like that.
It feels like it, yes.
Which one were we supposed to watch first? Like, The Beasts of Terror? Santo versus Frankenstein's daughter? The Vengeance of the
Wax
Mummy?
Museum?
Which one?
The She-Wolves?
The Vengeance of the Vampire Women? Was that important to Dracula? Or...
I'm guessing that none of these have any context for any of this, and they're all just very, very distinct, weird movies on their own. But the big thing is that it just kind of jumps from scene to scene. There's a lot of... We watched a dub, we should say, I guess.
That is important. Yeah.
That's very important, because they didn't just dub the voices. they definitely did not have separate audio tracks for, like, voices and sound effects.
No.
Mm-hmm.
They redubbed everything. So you get this very jarring effect of, like, Dracula comes in and there's this da-da-da, like, organ music, and then all of a sudden it'll cut to the other group and the music just stops. Like, just
Hard cut.
thud. And you're like, whoa, what? Like, it's hard to explain in an audio format without the full clip, but oh my god.
I know how to explain it. It's the 4Kids dub.
Oh my god, you're right.
Where Santo's like, wow, I love jelly donuts. And he's holding up some onigiri.
These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they match the words that they're speaking to the lip movement. Like a lot of 70s dubs in English.
It's done really poorly, too.
And it's very bad. Yeah. It's like a samurai movie, is what it reminds me of. Like a bunch of the old 70s samurai stuff that got dubbed and brought over.
I want to say also that there was a point in the movie where one of them was moving their mouths and nothing came out.
Yes. Yeah, that was early on. God, it was...
Is it a detective? I don't even know who that guy was.
It was Eric. It was Eric. Eric was talking, and he's like, "Ah, yes, my lord, I've resurrected you." And then there's just like this long silence, and he just keeps moving his mouth for like a minute, and then and then it continues, and he's like, "Ah, well, now I'm going to," and you're like, I don't think that was a direct translation, actually. Like, somehow, I feel like they might have missed some context there.
I'm curious if the dubbers even had a script. I think they might have rewrote the script, to be honest.
They probably did.
Like, I don't think the story matches the original story. I think this is just straight up, let's try and make this work. I don't know what they're saying.
Huh.
I was actually trying to look right after we watched the movie if I could find anything on the dub actors, and I couldn't, so I'm going to assume maybe these were just the same people trying to speak English, because the accents definitely led me to believe that English was not their first language when they're like, Blue Demon instead of Blue Demon.
Yeah. There's definitely some weird pronunciations.
The gardener especially had a thick accent.
Very thick accent. I think that was just the gardener.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's try and explain the film, I guess. So Santo is wrestling El Blanco. This is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That does not matter.
Now
like 10 minutes.
Now after that 10 minutes of wrestling,
I will say
Yeah.
it's irrelevant, but also very good. You can understand why he's a good luchador. Like, that wrestling match, I'm like, I'm not a real wrestling match fan, but damn, they got moves. Like, he's very talented.
I don't know much about wrestling either, but I have a lot of respect for the sport, and especially, seeing it in craft like this. They knew this is what people wanted to see, which is why it takes up like a third of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing like lightning fast arm bars and flips over the arm bars. Like, it's like armbar, flip, armbar, throw, armbar, flip. And you're like, Jesus, like, not hurting somebody doing that is fucking hard. Like, they do it really quick in those matches. It was impressive.
Part of me is thinking these might have just been actual matches as well, that they were just like, oh, you want to put this in the movie? I mean, we're going to win anyway because we're El Santo and Blue Demon, so like,
I think so, but also like the background of the wrestling ring is just like a blank wall.
Yes, it was kind of blank and generic.
And they changed the color a couple times, like in post. So I think this was recorded specifically for the film, and it's also only those 4 luchadors in the whole movie. So I don't know.
Anyway, irrelevant wrestling match.
It's irrelevant. Yeah, but Dr. Eric shows up in the cave, because he's in a cave, and there are 2 coffins on the ground, and he's like, "Hail Satan, I will raise Dracula the Wolfman!" And this has nothing to do with wrestling! Ah!
I hate the Crystallis family!
Instant plot. It just goes like, alright, by the way, here's the shit. You wanted Wolfman Dracula? Here's Wolfman, here's Dracula. We're resurrecting them. There's Satan. Done.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Gotcha. Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the shebang.
And then it, like, after Santo's match is finally done against El Blanco, or whatever his name was.
Alangel Blanco.
Yeah, it was Blanco. Yeah.
Then it cuts to the professor, who's not Dr. Eric, it's the professor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Professor Crystallis.
Crystallis, yeah. And he's inside of his study / library, talking to Santo about a debt that he has to pay because he's in debt to the mob or something. And this is important because it's in a book from the 14th century.
Yeah,
or something.
The threat is... he's like, oh, well, here's a threat against my family because I owe this money or whatever. And he reads it off, and El Santo's like, okay, well, that just sounds like a bad joke. And he goes, no, see, it matches this curse from Dracula. Here's an old book.
Yeah, and he pulls out his picture book. And then he starts telling a tale about how Dracula and the Wolfman were killed with a magic dagger. Like this one I have right here, this magic dagger that I have.
It
You
was a
know, the
pretty
one
cool
that
dagger.
killed Dracula and the Wolfman.
The part that I really liked about the intro of the dagger is that he's like, well, my family's killed Dracula and the Wolfman hundreds of years ago, and it sounds exactly like their threat sounds like the Dracula curse, and we had this dagger. Oh, and there's also all this other bullshit, but, don't worry about that. Like, he grabs, like, a bunch of other artifacts off the shelf, like some teeth and a rosary and all these kinds of things, and he's like, well, there's also these teeth and this rosary, but those are all just fucking hot fucking shit. Don't ever look at them, don't touch them. The dagger, though, whoa, that
Just
is
the dagger.
Primo dagger.
Yep,
Come
that's
to think of it, for the dagger being the MacGuffin of the movie, they don't really ever use it.
No, not at all. No.
Like, there's no weaknesses. You would think, okay, well, he's fighting Dracula, so maybe he's got a lot of garlic or a cross or some other thing, or maybe the werewolf has, like, they're gonna shoot him with, like, a silver bullet or anything. Nope, none of that is ever used in this film.
No, but that dagger.
The dagger
Make sure
does...
to pay attention to that dagger. That's important.
Yeah, it does play some roles in the movie, but it's in very unexpected ways, which we'll get to. I won't mention it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
Same.
spoil the surprise.
So the professor asked Santo that if he were ever to die, he needs to protect his family, and he's going to pay him to protect his family and anybody else from being killed by Dracula, because Santo's really good at protecting people with his wrestling.
Oh god, he needs a refund. Oh fuck. How do you...
Yeah, and then that night, he just gets like a hunch, and he's like, something weird's gonna happen tonight. I'll just give this magic dagger to my daughter. I don't know. She can have it. It's fine. For no reason.
Yeah, she's like 10, by the way, or something. I don't think it's ever mentioned.
That's what I was going to say. Like, Juker nailed the point there, is that he goes, something's up. I know, I need to protect my family. Who should wield this magic artifact to protect us?
The kid.
The 10-year-old daughter. Yes, let's put it
Yeah,
next to
she's
her
got like a
doll.
little dolly too. It's definitely like a child's toy, probably like age like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
But why would you give her? It's not even in like a hilt or anything. There's no cover for the dagger. It's just a blade.
He leaves a sharp knife next to her bedstand without telling her. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Well,
That's
sleeping.
it.
And he points the blade at her, which was
At
like
her.
extra weird to me. I know that it's
a
like a
little bit,
very minor detail, but
Have you seen that one Simpsons episode where Homer's like, Bart, check out this cool chainsaw and hockey mask. Look at these brownies. I got a knife. It's like that.
yeah.
Oh, man. So then the professor goes back to his room, and then suddenly he opens the closet to go put his like coat away or something, and Eric's in there, Dr. Eric.
Surprise,
for some
Eric.
reason.
Yeah.
He chloroforms, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and drags him down to the cave and hangs him upside down above Dracula's coffin, because he really wants Dracula's gold.
Yeah.
Which never came up in the movie now that you mention it.
No, it never
Never
did
seen.
again.
Sure didn't.
No. Yeah, his reason for resurrecting Dracula and his pet Wolfman is specifically to get Dracula's gold, as is well known, you know.
At
Not
the
of
end of the
eternal life.
Dracula rainbow. Yeah.
Not like because he's worshiping Satan, nothing like that. He just, man, I'm just gonna get all that gold.
So then he hangs up the professor, slits his throat, I guess, and drips some blood onto Dracula. And, hey, Juker, what happens to Dracula? Because it's just a skeleton, right?
Yeah. He just kind of forms after the blood touches him. I guess if Crystallis blood, or maybe any blood touches him, if you're sacrificed onto a hook, it resurrects him and also the werewolf? I think that's how the werewolf came to be.
Yeah, I don't know how the werewolf resurrected, because there wasn't any blood on the werewolf. He just...
Yeah, it was only Dracula.
He moves the corpse over to the werewolf, too.
Oh.
I'd like to mention the most important part, though, with Dracula is the fact that his clothing also got resurrected.
Yeah,
because he's just an empty skeleton
and everything. Yeah. I also want to mention that there's a small Blade Trinity tie-in, as somebody mentioned to me recently, because this Dracula also vapes, because the minute the blood drops on him, he starts smoking.
It's true. It's true.
Vapes some blood, years ahead of their time.
And then it hard cuts after them both being resurrected, and Eric being like, I'm here to serve you, my lord. It hard cuts to the whole fucking town being grabbed by Dracula.
Yeah, we just assumed the movie was over already, and they were just gonna wrestle for another hour.
I guess.
Yeah, because, and we thought that here's the thing, or at least like half of the women in this movie are like blonde beehives as their like hair, like they've got like the big 70s hair, and they're all wearing like yellow dresses all the time. They look almost identical, like it's a little Stepford Wives. So when it hard cuts to then a woman on the table being drank by a Dracula, it's like, wait, isn't that because there's the I guess we should say the whole Crystallis family, because there's the professor.
Yeah. They're all dead after the professor's dead, yeah.
Oh, God. We'll
the
get to
last
that
of
in a
the
minute.
Crystallis.
We'll get to that in a minute. Hold up. Just let me finish my thought. Just give me a moment. We gotta get to that. But there's the professor. There's the professor. I can count. Dracula and the Wolfman can't. I get it, but I can. There's... God damn it. There's the professor, and then there's the mom, like his daughter. And there's the granddaughter, which was the little girl he gives the knife to. And then their cousin. But it looks... The lady that they have on the slab, all three of us were like, well, okay, so they just captured all the Crystallis family? Because they're like, oh, now we need to capture the Crystallis family. And then it hard cuts, and she's on the slab. And we're like, oh, I guess they did it. Because it looks identical to her.
It does.
And then all of a sudden, it pans out, and it just like goes down, and it shows... It zooms out from her and starts panning down, and you see another person, and then another person, and then it just like keeps going for like a minute and a half as it goes through 30 people of all these different people that are there captured. And we're like, wait, when did this fucking happen? What's going on?
Well, that's because Dracula's gonna invite them all to the Legion of warriors, which will come back eventually later.
So we found out that wasn't her. It was just, I guess, the entire town becomes his Legion of Doom.
Yeah, come to think of it, there's not really a whole lot in the actual town that we get to see. It's basically just the Crystallis house, a factory, and whatever that cave is. Also, I guess the ring, if that counts.
Yeah, and like an alleyway, I guess. Yeah. That's about it, though, yeah. Oh, and the woods. We see the woods.
That's true.
Yeah, they crawl around in the woods a little bit.
Yeah, it's free to shoot in the woods. So, anyways, Dracula takes the whole town, except for the cops. So, because the professor's gone, Santo does the one thing he can think to do, which is go to the cops and say, hey, by the way, I think Dracula was resurrected, and he killed the whole town, and also the professor.
Yeah, I love that they go, the cops are talking to the daughter, the mom, and they're going, okay, well, what happened to the professor and all this? And she's like, well, I don't know, he's just gone. And Santa's like, whoa, there's more important information here. And she goes, I don't think that matters. He's like, no. So, okay, by the way, as a luchador, I want to give you my professional opinion. And they go, oh, yes, yeah, of course. Santo, please, tell us, the officers, what to do. And he goes, well, Dracula and Wolfman are real, and they're coming to the town. They're going to kill everybody. And they go, oh. Okay, well, we should do something about that. Thank you very much, expert Santo.
Thank you, Santo.
They play it, so straight. They just instantly are like, oh, yeah, okay, huh.
Well, yeah, that's what Santo does on a regular basis, according to the 50 other movies. So they're just at this point like, you know what, Santo, we trust you with this. You've survived the Martian attack. You've survived the other werewolf attacks, the other vampires. You can do this. We trust you.
Yeah, they're like, all right. You know what? We're just going to leave this one to you, Santo. Honestly, I think you can probably handle it best. Santo could not handle it best, by the way.
Santo can't handle it best, but also Santo can't do it alone. So he decides to go pick up Blue Demon 30 minutes into the film to help him. Because Blue Demon is an inventor luchador, you see.
No, it was Santo that invented the wristwatch, I thought.
No, it was Blue Demon, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
I am 99%. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. But... The
nerds will be arguing over who made that transmitter watch for 30 years after this episode.
You don't understand. Santos with enough prep can beat anybody.
God. Anyway, it's irrelevant. So, Dracula finally talks to the Wolfman, who so far has just been kind of mumbling and wandering around like he's stupefied.
Yeah, I guess we should say it really looked like the Wolfman was wearing a luchador mask made of fur.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how the Wolfman looks. He just looks like a normal guy wearing a disco yellow shirt. Yes. But if it was a furry mask.
Yeah.
And all of his original lines are we're like, oh, is he just unintelligible? Is this just a thing? Is he basically a Frankenstein? And he's kind of shuffling around and he staggers and falls and just curls up in a corner.
Yeah. Also, being a werewolf in this movie is weird because you would think it's a full moon. He could be a werewolf, but as it's revealed later, everyone else in the room is a werewolf except for him. He's just not a werewolf until he felt like it.
It doesn't seem to give them any special powers or anything either. They seem to have zero advantages for this, just furry faces. But they say, before that, Eric and Dracula are talking and they go, well, part of the plan is done, but, I can't really do a whole lot now that I have all of my vampires, for some reason. Now it's the Wolfman's turn. He's gotta go get laid. And he goes,
yeah,
and stumbles and falls into the corner. He stumbles and just falls in a corner and collapses at the end of that scene. You're just like, wait, so is he gonna? They're just gonna do it like that? How is he gonna do this? He's just a weird, stumbling, shambling wolf man who can't even talk. He wakes up.
He sleeps it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what happened was he had a little bit of a drinky the night before.
Had a real bad hangover, and he gets up as Rufus Rex, and he's now suave and very handsome.
Rufus Rex is a hell of a name for a werewolf.
It is.
It's really good. It's actually really, really good. One thing that you did gloss over that I wanted to mention too very quickly, just when they add Blue Demon to the team, they do add it by him having a full 10-minute wrestling.
Yeah, so it's in the middle of the movie. There's no mention of Blue Demon. There's just hard cut to the wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Blue Demon's in the plot now. Just add him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Rufus Rex is on a mission to get boned, I guess, by the mother, Crystallis. Yeah. So he tries to seduce her. Through an orchestrated situation where she almost gets kidnapped, and then he offers graciously to kidnap her instead.
Yeah. Also, I just want to remind the audience at this moment that Santos and the Blue Demon have been specifically hired to protect this family. she's getting kidnapped in broad daylight, and neither of them are anywhere fucking near her.
Well, that's because they were playing rummy.
I was gonna say they're out just playing rummy or
Yeah, they were
looking
playing
at
cards while Dracula tried to go into the daughter's room, but then the dagger scared him away.
Mm-hmm.
The special effects when he turns into a bad blue, some of the best I've ever seen.
It's a rubber bat on a string, and they do not try to hide it
No.
at all. I think you can even see the string. I'm gonna be honest.
You can. You definitely can.
Yes, you definitely can. Yeah.
Oh man, it's so good. But the important thing is that Dracula is constantly creeping in a window, watching people play board games, and then being like, "Come on, fucking make a move."
Yeah, I love when they're playing chess later, and Dracula is just like, just get checkmate already. Come on. And somehow during that he hypnotized someone. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Blue Demon starts stalking Rufus because he doesn't trust that Rufus just kidnapped her out of his own goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I don't know
basically, that's what it is. Yeah.
I guess, yeah. And then he tracks him to his apartment because we forgot that Eric also is a landlord and paid for Rufus's apartment in town.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
apparently
he said he
that
was
was
gonna
the
get that.
reward for the Wolfman for doing his kidnapping, bewitching, was, hey, you get this apartment downtown. And it sure is an apartment complex when they show it.
God, and it's like right next to a bus stop and a school.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
convenient.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice placement. I mean, I need an Eric in my life.
It's gated, too.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
So-
Santo climbs the tree here.
It's not Santo, it's Blue Demon.
Or Blue Demon.
It's Blue
that's
Demon.
what I meant. Yeah.
Why,
Sorry.
you know what? I know because Blue Demon sucks at climbing a tree.
Yeah, no, I
Which we
I
talked
just
about.
misspoke. Yeah.
But Blue Demon, he doesn't even climb the tree. He shambles
No,
up the tree
yes. Oh God.
while
They
struggling.
definitely all did their own stunts, which I respect it.
And he's incognito mode, which means he's wearing his blue mask, blue turtleneck, and blue coat. So you can't see him in the dark.
Yeah, every time they're trying to be incognito, you know, a luchador can never remove their mask. It is of the code. But it's really funny to me that they stand out so much. Well, they'll be sitting far away in a, like, blue mask or shiny silver mask, and are just like, oh, I hope no one notices us while we're staking out the place.
Well, he's also looking through the window from... Dracula does this too. Everybody in this movie, when they look in the window, they don't, like, look in the window from a secluded spot a little ways away or something. It is literally just put your face up against the glass. like they're, like, nose pressed to the window pane, staring in and being like, no one will see me. It's like, no, everyone will see you. What the fuck are you doing?
They also don't
Yeah.
believe in curtains on any of these windows.
No, they don't. No. But Eric and Rufus are talking, and Eric immediately notices Blue Demon, and he's like, hey, by the way, Rufus, don't look out the window, because Blue Demon's watching us. Let's fake a conversation to throw him off.
No.
Which immediately throws him off,
Mm-hmm.
because they're really good at their job, you know?
You think he was listening when they said out loud, hey, let's throw him, because they didn't whisper this, too. They
No.
said this, like, for everyone to hear, so... I don't know why Blue Demon's just like, oh, okay, I'll leave. I got all the conversation I need.
So,
I
Yeah,
also,
but Blue-
well, I want to interrupt you for 1 second, boys, because you said that they're very good at their job sarcastically, and I think that's unfair because they are very good at their job. I watched the 2 wrestling matches; those were very good. They're terrible at whatever this side gig is. This is not their job. They shouldn't be doing it.
they got paid. That means they're doing it, all right? Right? Somebody walks up and is like, I'll give you $100 to protect me. Yeah, all right. What do I got to do? Oh, you know, protect me.
Okay.
That sounds
bodyguard.
vague. Yeah, it sounds vague. I'll be over here playing rummy with the girls. See
Yeah,
you
they don't
later.
ever pay attention to anyone whenever they're playing these games. It's just, you know, the
Oh,
plot
man.
needs Dracula to do something. So I guess we'll just be distracted, look in the other direction. Oh, did you see anything? No.
Yeah.
Just go
But-
back to chess.
So Blue Demon sneaks away and then calls Santo, and they're like, we gotta trail this Eric dude.
You know,
So they get into their very covert vehicle, a bright red convertible,
Yeah.
wearing their masks and bright turtlenecks.
Their big costumes, yep.
And remember, El Santo has a very shiny mask. It's
Yep.
known for being very silvery.
So does
they
Blue Demon. Like, Blue
They
Demon's
do.
mask has, like, it's blue, but it has, like, these stylized highlights all around the eyes and mouth and stuff that are all very silvery and reflective also. Like, they're basically just wearing massive reflectors on their heads, and they're following them in the dark.
Here's my thing. If a luchador is meant to never remove the mask, why not just have, like, backup masks to put over the regular mask that, like, blend in? Like,
Camo
like
mask,
a ski mask or something.
Yeah.
Just blend in with the dark backgrounds. Nope, they don't do that. They're just like, we'll just wear the normal ones. Is what,
that
what we
wouldn't be
know.
honorable, though.
It
right?
wouldn't, right.
Like, that would go against the code.
To be fair, if they actually changed their masks, I would have no fucking clue who was Santos and who was Blue Demon, so...
Correct.
That's kind of a problem.
But they're not just trailing them. They trail them... like, they trail Eric 5 feet behind his vehicle.
Yes.
It's like bumper to bumper.
They didn't have a lot of road to work with in this movie.
No.
You gotta understand that.
but Eric leads them into a warehouse, which has a trap, because he hired a local gang to harass them and set up an ambush. So they walk in, and they get ambushed immediately. And at the same time, one of the... Who was it? Was it?
It was the cousin.
The cousin?
Lena.
I think it was
Lena
cousin,
is
yeah.
probably the most competent character in this movie.
Yeah.
She was.
But she snuck into their vehicle by hiding under a blanket in the back seat.
Which she was more sneaky than anyone else because they didn't know she was there.
Again,
So after
They're
they
like, stay here.
But they get caught by the gang, and the gang's going to throw them in the furnace at 275 degrees for 45 minutes until the meat thermometer reaches, a certain temperature, I guess.
It's like 220 degrees, I want to say. They didn't say Fahrenheit or Celsius, so that
it was,
could have been...
I was going to say, you might think this is a bit. It is not a bit. They talk about the exact temperature they need to turn the furnace to melt these luchadors.
They never bring that furnace up again after that scene.
No.
Nope.
That's because Lena got into a forklift, which she's certified to drive, and then she drove it into the wall of cardboard boxes, hay bales, and potato sacks.
Mm-hmm. And knocks it over onto all of the gangsters, which makes them... It gives them all head injuries and makes them forget that they had guns. And so they don't go to pick them up, and instead just engage in a wrestling match.
Might have also been a reoccurring character in this series, because it really sounds like... El Santo, it's good to see you again. I'm going to kill you now. He kind of was like a bald guy, and he had like circular glasses, and I want to say he had like a yellow shirt under his suit. It was like a gray suit or a brown suit.
He seemed like a recurring character, yeah.
He's everyone's favorite
flavor.
minion.
Mm-hmm.
They also kind of just beat them up and then left when the cops showed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I'm sure they never got away from that one.
They also never mention, oh, hey, that was so dangerous of you to hide in the car. Why did you do that? They don't have a moment like that. Like, that was so dangerous, even though, they could have just had a moment where it's like, oh, well, yeah, you almost died, though, without me. There's none of that. It's just, all right, let's just go.
Do they even see her again at, like,
No, I don't think they do
I
during
don't think
that
they
scene.
I don't think they actually know who saved them or
No,
how.
they mentioned at the end that it was Lena that did it. They knew.
Okay.
They knew. It just was irrelevant.
Fair.
It didn't matter.
We knew you would save us, even though we said don't come.
Those boxes of optical lenses saved them, really, if you think about it. It was one box of optical lenses.
Yes, there were optical lenses and a box that said, don't use hooks.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that was about. Anyway, Rufus calls up Dracula on his fucking weird phone.
That is a weird phone.
With a rotary, dial.
The bottom of the
it.
phone, is like a flat rotary dial, but it is a full old phone like you would expect, a wired phone to look like.
It kind of looks like he's holding a boot or something.
Also, it has a button in the center of the bottom that he has to press at one point to end the call.
Yeah, but after he calls Dracula, they come up with a plan to send Santos and Blue Demon to an abandoned warehouse for a different ambush.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts talking to Santo, and he's like, yeah, that Eric guy gave me a map and told me to go meet him because he's blackmailing the Crystallis family, and the professor's there. But I'm going to go on my own, and you should not follow me, Santo, because I'm really smart and good. And then Santo's like, no, I'll do it. Well, okay, you pulling my leg. Yeah, you got me. Here's the map. And it's like a hand-drawn child's coloring book map on the back of a restaurant kids menu.
With like 5 or 6 trees.
Yeah. It's so bad.
And then Blue Demon even goes, okay, he goes, all right, well, Santos is going to go and do this. He goes, well, what should I do? I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah, I'll just stay here then, I guess.
And that's just the conversation they have. He's like, I don't know, I guess I'll stay here then. It's like, what, should you do any? No? Okay. All
No,
right.
I gotta be here just in case.
Santos just gonna do stuff.
It's so weird, but...
One of us has to protect someone instead of just playing games.
Do they? They don't really protect anyone, I'm gonna be honest.
Really
don't. But Santo goes to the abandoned house, and I think Blue Demon trails him for some reason. I don't remember why.
I don't remember either.
Wasn't... Oh, God. This isn't when he sees the gardener and stuff, right? Like, there's the attack, and then he kind of follows the trail? Or is that Santos later? That's Santos later, right?
I think that's later.
Yeah, that's later once Blue Demon's captured. Yeah, I don't know why he shows up.
I don't know, but...
He basically just follows him for some reason. I'm starting to believe you on they didn't have the script and they just ad-libbed over it, because there's so many weird holes like that.
It doesn't make
really
sense, yeah. He's just there, suddenly. But Santo finds the professor, who's a zombie, and the professor gets him in a chokehold against the ring, and puts him in the buckle, and then starts kicking him, and knocks him out.
Yeah, Dr. Eric cold clocks him from behind and gets him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he sees him in the window, and he walks over for like a minute. They don't change the shot or anything either.
Oh, yeah, this was one of the long shots of Santos, like, climbing. It's a wide shot of the house, and it shows him, like, go up all the steps, like, go over the banister, walk in the door, and then they cut. And it's like, oh my god, like, you do not need to show the whole thing.
Because I think during this was just to distract them so that Rufus could kill the mother.
Yes, I believe
Off
so.
screen in the garden.
I don't think that ever happened either.
There was a scream. There was a scream in the garden, and that's all they showed. It was basically nothing. But
yeah,
I know because this was pre-chess game, so that's why I know.
They don't kill her in the garden. What they do is the Dracula comes in and drinks her blood while she's sleeping.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
Yeah,
yes,
he bites
right,
her in the neck. Yeah, he bites her in the neck while she's sleeping. While they're out.
They never really show it. He just kind of like casually puts his lips on. There's no fangs going in or screaming. It's just ketchup.
They just show 2 lines of ketchup on her neck, and now she is a vampire like us. So they've already lost 50% of the people that have hired them to protect them.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they're reading magazines and playing chess. They don't have time to be saving them.
Hey, they're also drinking tea. They have
that is true. They have really fancy gilded teacups.
They're gold teacups. Yeah, that's true.
But Blue Demon rescues Santos right as they're about to stab him. Meanwhile, the mom's getting converted into a vampire. And they just kind of break their way back out. And I think they just go back to the house, basically.
They just go back. They're like, well, that was weird.
Well, that sucked. Yeah, I guess we'll just go back.
Anyway.
Dang, we keep getting ambushed. Anyway, let's go back to the house.
Yeah, but they go back to play chess. And then Santo cancels the chess game because he's about to lose, but he wants to come up with an excuse. He's like, I'm going to go to the library and look at that picture book.
Mm-hmm.
While Blue Demon sits there and contemplates his next move and reads a magazine. And at that point, Josephina, who was also turned, who was like, I don't know, the friend?
She was like the nanny. She was the nanny?
Yeah. She just walks out because Dracula called her.
Yeah, Dracula mesmerizes her through the window while they're playing chess.
But
they're playing
here's
chess
the best part.
And they don't notice Dracula sitting in the window.
You're forgetting though. The whole time Dracula's not looking directly into her eyes. She's just like reading a book, and he's looking at the back of her head. I guess that's enough to work, because I always thought with vampires the rule was, I gotta look directly into your eyes to mesmerize you. I think it's what it's called, or glamour you. I think I also hear.
Yep, they show that later on too, where he's like, look into my eyes, and like he mesmerizes Lena also and stuff later, and leaves her in a room, and that's the whole eye gaze thing. And this one, no, just back of the head. She's just sitting in a chair in the corner, and he's just looking at her, and she's, oh, well, I guess I'm Dracula's friend now. Weird.
Yeah, but Blue Demon decides to trail Josefina because he wants to do something that doesn't get someone killed, I guess. Mm-hmm. You know, his job. and he gets thwarted by the smallest net known to man. A tiny net. It is a death sentence.
Tiny nets have a constant problem in these movies. We've seen a lot of dog movies. Tiny nets are a real menace to society.
Especially dogs. You know, those dog catchers. You gotta watch out for them.
Mm-hmm. Dogs and dog catchers both have very, very bad times with tiny nets, let me tell you.
They
both
sure
sides.
do.
And then after Blue Demon gets caught and then chained up in the wall in the cave, Josefina goes back to go pick up the granddaughter to bring to the house above the cave where Dracula lives.
Mm-hmm. And this part kind of makes sense because it's that he can't get the daughter because the dagger is by her bed and keeps on shoving him away, and she is in an eternal sleep. She never leaves the bed, so apparently
this is like multiple days of her in bed sleeping.
Yeah, this is the first time they show the daughter, I think, since the last scene that she was in, which makes sense. You know, obviously it's the last scene that she was in, but like that's so early in the movie that like, is this a few days later? We don't know.
No, it keeps on showing, but like over and over. Every time that she's on the scene, she's in bed sleeping next to the dagger. Every time. It's the only thing she does after the first like 10 minutes or whatever of the movie.
Huh.
But
yeah,
Josefina is like calling her. Or was it Josefina or was this Lena?
It's Josefina. Now? It's Josefina because Lena gets grabbed later, I think. Okay, Josefina brings her to the mansion to go then get the mother, though.
God, it is so hard to keep track of the characters in this because, like I said, all
really
of the women,
they
all the women all look the same. They all have the same style of hair. They all wear very similar dresses. And then our two main characters are luchador. Like, everybody else has masks, and like there's Wolfmen that all have just furry faces. It's like, God damn it, I can't fucking tell who anyone is. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, so they go to the mansion. At the same time, Santo comes out of his den of picture books because he couldn't find the dagger after finding a picture of the dagger and remembering that the professor said that an alchemist in the past used this magic dagger to kill Dracula. It's probably unimportant. Yep. So then he goes looking, and he realizes the whole house is empty. Because he's been reading his picture book and not paying attention to anything.
Yeah, everyone that I'm supposed to protect is dead. What the fuck?
So he starts looking for the granddaughter in her room where she sleeps at all times. And he can't find her, but he does find the dagger, so he stuffs it in his pants and goes looking for Blue Demon. I guess.
Yeah.
Because he stumbles upon the gardener who saw Blue Demon leaving before he got knocked out, who tells him where they went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, this was a great moment for me, because I loved how TheJewker pulled a Boix here for a moment, where Boix often say exactly what's going to happen just before it happens, no matter how unlikely it is.
I'll have to go around.
What if I suplex the window?
Santos is looking for a way into this house, and he starts like looking up at an upper floor window, and TheJewker goes,
I think this is second floor, right?
I think
second
so.
Floor.
Yeah, he's like, wait, is he just gonna like suplex the window? And then hard cut to Santos just smashing through the window.
It's so good.
Yeah, you know, he could have just, I don't know, maybe tried to like open the window, pick the lock, but no, he's a wrestler. He's got the strength. We'll just knock through the window.
Oh man. And this is after, I think this is after the daughter meets back up with the mother, and then they separate in the skeleton room.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is a skeleton. The kid doesn't even notice the skeleton.
Which is not remotely mentioned.
Never mentioned that skeleton. Whose skeleton that is, I don't know who. It's not important.
No, the daughter just gets led through all of like these horrible torture scenes and stuff by the mom, while the mom is like silent and corpse-like because she's
a zombie.
Corpse. Yeah. And the daughter's just like, oh, I love going through this house with you, Mom. This is really nice. I like spending my evenings with you. And you're just like, there's skeletons and like red light, and it's like this cave, and there's all these like scenes like that. The daughter's just holding her little doll and in her mom's hand, and you're like, okay, sure.
So after Santo suplexes the second floor window,
Yo.
Dr. Eric shows up and throws some sort of a gas bomb into the room.
Mm-hmm.
I guess knocking him out. And then he steals the dagger from Santo. And he's about to stab him.
Again. For like the third time.
And then what happens, Juger? What does he decide to do?
What does he happen? So he's sort of about to pull the mask off him, and suddenly he hears a voice. It's not really clear who the voice is. I guess it might be Satan. Is like, well, hold on, you can get power. Think of all that wealth and everything. And he's like, yeah, I could betray Dracula and Rufus. I could get my own army. I could have everyone work for me. So he steals
if I have the dagger,
knife.
I have the power, yeah.
Yeah.
And he runs off. He's like, you know what, screw this.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna get all Dracula's gold now.
I have the power. So then he goes to Lena's room and he's like, I don't know how to use this fucking dagger.
Yes.
I don't have any power. How do I do this?
Oh my god. Which is, you stab with the pointy end. It's a dagger.
You just put the pointy end in. He's like, oh, like this? And then it hard cuts to him, like stabbing himself in the gut or something.
We don't know what happened. It all of a sudden, it just, whoop, it just turned around 180 degrees.
This is the surprise dagger, like, plot relevance, where, okay, so I did see what happened. He holds it out to her with the blade pointed towards her. And he goes, how do I use this? And as he does that, they use like a string or something, and they turn it around and then whip it into his body. It does it on its own. It just does it. As he's talking to her.
And then it's never seen again.
That dagger, not important to the rest of the movie. They don't use it to defeat Dracula like you would expect them to do. It's not important. It just didn't matter. It never mattered in this movie.
It kills Dr. Eric and sets Lena free, and then they just all promptly forget that it exists.
Well, that's because they need to go to the Werewolf Mortal Kombat hazing pit.
That's true. And also, they never get that knife back either. Like, it's not something where they're like, we gotta make sure it doesn't fall in the wrong hands.
No, there is... when we say it exits the film, there is nothing else about that knife ever again. It's the last thing the knife is seen in. Nobody talks about it. It's never seen again. It's gone.
Yeah. I don't get that. I don't understand.
It's incredible.
That might fit the theory of they didn't have a script
Mm-hmm.
and they were just redubbing it as they went.
Speaking of, so we go to the Mortal Kombat werewolf scene where they have a werewolf army and they grab another werewolf as Dracula watches and they go, make him walk the plank, which... Why?
Like werewolves do.
It's like a balance beam with handles.
Yeah.
Kind of like a seesaw has, where you would sit on it.
Yes, it's this big balance beam over a pit of spikes with a bunch of skeletons in it already. And Rufus Rex, the main Wolfman, walks across it first, and then he goes, hey, you should do it. And the guy does it, and then he goes, ha, it was a prank, bro! And he grabs the board and starts shaking it. Why? Why is he killing his other Wolfman? Why is this Wolfman a prisoner? Who knows?
I'd also like to point out that the Wolfman in this movie really just has not been the Wolfman. He's just been Rufus.
He's still Rufus in this scene.
Yes.
I
everyone else
earlier,
is Wolfman, but he's Rufus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mentioned earlier briefly that, at one point, he, everyone else is a werewolf but him. That happens now, so... Oh, I guess I don't need to be a werewolf right now, so I'll just walk across this beam.
I do love about this scene when he grabs the board and starts shaking it to fuck with the dude that's trying to cross it. He has, like, the biggest grin on his face. He thinks it's the funniest fucking thing in the universe. Like, he's just having a blast with it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get this guy. It just starts shaking this board like crazy. And you were saying, too, Juker, at the time, that I was also impressed with this Wolfman's, the one crossing the beam. That dude has some balance, because he makes it,
sure
like,
does.
3/4 of the way across.
They're shaking it a lot, to the point that you would probably immediately fall into the spike pit if that was you walking across it. But he makes it like 3/4 of the way, I want to say, and then falls in.
Yeah, he's real good. Honestly, I think that he's got a shot on the next season of American Gladiator or Takashi's Castle, something like that.
Probably,
There's a reboot of
yeah.
that, so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get him on there.
So then they make Blue Demon cross the beam as they're shaking it.
I guess.
And it's very dangerous until Santo comes by and knocks the guy out that's shaking it, I guess, and saves Blue Demon. But then there's a bunch of werewolves and vampires, and they need to have a big brawl, so they do that, I guess.
Yeah, they have another big, like, all-out wrestling match over the pit. Sorry, go ahead, Juker.
Mm-hmm. I was expecting this movie to end with them for some reason in, like, some ritual wrestling ring where they wrestle vampires or werewolves. I thought the entire time that was going to be the case. Nope, this is the final battle of the movie. It all just takes place in this cave next to the pit, pretty much.
Oh, there's another final battle, but
well, there is one more final battle, but
that one doesn't count.
There's the most important final battle. Hey, everything counts in the ring, boys. Everything counts. That's the most important stuff. But
because Santo's not in the ring, he doesn't have to follow the rules, though, in this fight.
I wanted to mention, too, though, the whole time that we're watching this, we've been, for the last couple minutes of this, when they get to the Mortal Kombat pit area and start doing this, all three of us start going, okay, this video is an hour and 33 minutes long. We're at an hour 28, 29? What the how the fuck are they ending this? Like,
we were so confused. We're like, no, this can't be over, right? Like,
we're all sitting here going like, fend. Like, how does this movie just cut? Because we knew it was gonna happen. Oh, God.
Anyway, Santo grabs a spear and spears a werewolf through the heart, turning him into ash.
Or salt? Something.
We don't know.
Something?
Apparently,
flour?
Yeah, I guess these are special, fancy, blessed spears that I don't know why werewolves or Dracula would ever own these, but he just does.
Yeah. Well,
seems a little stupid.
Throwing the spear is very anti-luchador, I think. But also, for some reason, the grandchild, the daughter, or whatever her name is, she shows up again in the middle of a werewolf brawl.
Oh, God, right.
And she's still not shaken by this, and just starts walking over the board over the death pit.
Yeah,
she could have walked around it or something, but she's like, no, I'll walk across.
And she could have also just not gone towards the brawl.
And then, Santo runs by, and he's like, what are you doing? And he starts walking across the beam and has to carry her back, which, again, incredible balance on Santo's part for doing this.
The other part that I thought was so funny about that is she makes it a good, 80-some% of the way across.
Yeah.
And towards Santos. And he goes, oh, God, no, you can't cross that. It's so dangerous. Definitely, we shouldn't be crossing this. Anyways, I'm going to pick you up. And then I'm not going to carry you the 20%. I'm going to go back the full 80 over the pit. It's like, wait, what? Why would you?
I think it would have been safer
Why
if
go that direction?
He grabbed her and just chucked her to the other side.
Anything like that. Yeah,
it would have been. Yeah, but they get to the other side. She's safe with Lena, I guess. Mm-hmm. Until more werewolves show up and they start duking it out again. And I guess, they send Rufus in, and Rufus finally transforms back into the Wolfman after, 80 minutes of the movie.
I mean, this is his full power. We need it
for
the climax.
Yeah. During this whole time, too, you might wonder, where the fuck is Dracula? Don't worry, he's there. He's sitting in the corner. Occasionally, they cut to him, and he's just like,
What should I do? I gotta assess the whole situation.
And there's a moment finally when they start duking it out with... They've basically gotten rid of all of the werewolves, and there's just Rufus left and Santos and Blue Demon. And then suddenly, we were talking too, where you said, Boix, I think you said, I can't believe there's no music to any of this. Like, this seems like there should be a moment when there's music. And all of a sudden, we get Dracula's entrance music, and Dracula's just standing, like, framed in the cavern. And it's like, oh no, Dracula's entered the ring. And Dracula starts fighting. Yeah, which I thought was real good.
Because Blue Demon gets in the brawl with all the other werewolves, taking them out one by one, which is a really funny scene because they only had like 6 actors for that fight scene. So you constantly seeing the same person getting punched in a different direction.
Or thrown into the pit again and again. Yeah.
They're all basically some people with a werewolf mask and like a disco shirt of some color. It's pretty much everyone. There's
that
even
werewolf got thrown
one
in
of the
like 3
guys
times,
is one of the guys is this guy that's not a werewolf. He's just a guy with a beard.
Yep.
We don't know why he was there. I guess maybe he was a vampire, but they never show teeth or anything. So
no, I love the idea that dude showed up on set and for casting, and they're like, "Okay, you can be a Wolfman." And he goes, "All right, I need to go makeup," and they go,
"Nah,
perfect.
You look pretty hairy. It's okay." Just send him along his way. Like, no. Actually, you're fine. You're pretty wolfy.
So, since Blue Demon's distracted, Rufus and Dracula, I guess they flank Santo, one on each side, and then they meet in the middle, directly in front of the pit.
Yes.
And Santo's like, "Oh no, they got me!" But Blue Demon throws him a hook on a rope, which then Santo uses.
Kind of like
Santo
Indiana
uses
Jones
that to Indiana Jones swing them into, like with a kick, into the pit. And we're like, oh, well that takes care of the Wolfman, but Dracula's fine. We haven't dealt with the dagger yet, so...
it's fine.
They're just impaled. But Dracula will be fine, right?
No, he's dead.
No, the pit devours all.
He's just dead now.
Yeah, once you fall into the pit, Reptile gets you.
And then all the werewolves and vampires that were turned to ash or salt or whatever. And Santo's like, wow, I guess when they died, everyone else died too. Anyways.
And then we get the final battle.
Because you were saying like they should have just hard cut, not explained anything, and that's just the end.
Yeah, I figured that seemed like what was going to happen. I honestly thought that was going to happen because again, there's like 30 seconds or like a minute or something left in the film, so we're like, okay, well, there's probably credits, right? There's not, but
no,
because Santo and Blue Demon, like now that we've saved all of the Crystalis family and everyone in town.
We have to fight the real evil in the ring.
We have a match we gotta get to.
You know, come to think of it, they never actually show anyone turning back to normal and being like, thank you for saving me or anything, right?
No, they're dead. No, they're dead.
No, never see them again. We really fucked up. The whole Crystalis family, gone. Except for the little girl. She's the only one left, as far as we know. And her doll.
Lena, cousin Lena, I think lives. Yeah, they batted 500. They managed to get a 50%. You know, hey, listen, that's a passing grade.
You say bad at 500, but you're also not taking into account literally everybody in town that died. So
yeah, at the start
they
of the movie.
weren't hired to save them.
I guess that's true. You're right.
That's true.
Santos and Blue Demon explicitly follow instructions, okay?
Well, except they don't. They were reading magazines and playing chess. They weren't doing shit.
Okay, I couldn't hold that. You're right.
Anyways, they do their 2v2 match versus Hippie and Blanco again. And they win, and then the announcer goes, "Our heroes win again!" Then cut,
and
done.
Then it cuts.
Get the fuck out of the theater.
No credits, just send.
I thought for sure there'd be credits.
No. None.
Nothing.
What a film.
You know, if there's 55 more of these, I'm interested.
Oh my god.
Same?
I don't know.
We need a whole podcast just to do Blue Santo
movies.
Yes.
Oh man, what a film that we definitely watched today. That was
it was an experience. I'll give you that. Honestly, I loved it.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I think it was fun. don't expect to enjoy the plot, because, like, there really isn't any plot. It's just, we got 3 wrestling matches. I guess to sell the movie, we need a really big threat. Put in Dracula and the werewolf. Done.
The plot's just there to drag you from one brawl to the next, really.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
But it's fun. I think that it's fun because of the fact that, like, all of the characters, as much as I complained about not being able to tell, like, some of the women apart, all of the characters, like, the villains and stuff, are wild, right? Like,
they are. They're the best part.
There's a hunchback doctor who's doing satanic rituals and has this massive scar across his head and, like, an evil goatee, and he's talking like this. And his name's Eric. It's like, it's just shit like that. Like, everybody is basically that, and it's hilarious to watch that. And seeing Santos and Blue Demon just fuck up absolutely everything in spectacular fashion, every scene, and then at the end they go, and they win! It's just, it's such a cherry on the cake for me. I love it.
Well, that's going to be it for that movie. So I guess we should move on to rating the dogs.
We'll go rate the puppies.
So at the end of every episode, we rate our dogs. I guess the main dog is Rufus Rex, which not much of a Wolfman.
He spent too much of the movie just being man. I'm gonna give it like a 2 out of 10. I don't know what the rating system is here, but
I don't even know if this counts as a dog. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not sure.
Honestly, same. That's kind of why I'm like either 1 or a 2. I could lean towards either.
Yeah, I'm probably around a 2, but I will say I want to give an extra rating of 11 out of 10 for the name Rufus Rex.
That is a good name.
It is a good name.
That's a good boy name.
Now, the other dogs are all the Wolfmen in the background, and those are some good dogs.
They are.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's like 5 of them. 4 of them are part of like a jock group for a hazing ritual. That's all they do.
Yeah, the werewolf hazing ritual.
They hold spears while you walk across a board, and they're really into it, and they love it, and they're like, all of us had to do it, now you do too.
Oh man, Tim went in the pit. Oh,
it's okay. They go out for brewskis after.
Yeah,
so it's a lot of fun.
Those are good. Those are like 10 out of 10 dogs right there. I don't know.
Easily.
Okay, now do we rate Santos and Blue Demon?
Ooh.
I don't know if we do. I don't. They're good boys, but I don't think we.
I think they're good boys, but yeah, I don't know about rating them.
They're too legendary. We couldn't possibly do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair.
Well, that was what's the name of this
movie? Santo and Blue Demon versus Dracula the Wolfman.
Of course, yeah. I should have realized that it was just the literal name. Okay, well, I was gonna try and maybe do this actual Spanish name, but there's probably no way that I'd get that. In any case, thank you for listening. Thank you so much, TheJewker, for stopping in.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Do you have some stuff to shout out? I imagine you do, since you are quite famous on the internet.
Hi, I stream over on Twitch at my channel, TheJewker. Hey, I do a lot of retro variety stuff, a lot of jank. If you love jank, we do a lot of dumb showcases of stuff. I'm actually doing one right after this in a bit, like an hour. I guess I'm not really going to talk about what it is, because by the time this goes up, it'll probably be like a week later, but yeah, we do a whole lot of different showcases of, like, maybe I pick a theme for the night once in a while, or we check out the games from one console, or maybe we just play through some silly games.
Yeah, I really love your show where you let your community nights where you just let people pick random games for you.
Yeah,
there's lots of cool
it's great.
Stuff.
It's a lot of fun just finding out all the different games and coming up with different ways to play certain things. Like I've played some real stinkers on my channel. Like I beat Lifeline for the PS2. That was that one took off some years of my life. That's
yeah. You really put your life on the line playing that one.
Yeah, it's like Resident Evil, but if you had to voice control everything, and then the
but
game
also voice controlled in the 90s kind of thing, like
early 2000s.
Yeah,
but it's bad.
Yeah.
But I love having fun with all the jank. It's fun.
But yeah, and then you can find us, of course, on all of our regular social media stuff. We're on co-host and Blue Sky at Rough Cuts, and you can also help us out on our Patreon, where we're, again, Rough Cuts Cast. or if you have any emails that you want to send, we've gotten some emails from directors of movies a couple times, which is rad as hell. Yeah, we had a really cool one from the director of Soccer Dog, a movie that we both actually really liked. It was a very cool movie. Very on a budget, but the jokes that they pulled off were actually good. So it was surprising for, like, a fun family dog movie. We don't normally get ones that are like, wait, this one's got real jokes, and it's kind of interesting to watch. Dang. So, yeah, they sent us a message, and it was pretty neat. But you can send us messages there at roughcutscast@gmail.com. So if you have anything, you can always send it in. What were you going to say, Juker? Sorry?
I will say that although El Santo y Blue Demon are both technically long dead, they do have relatives, so that there is a chance they could be watching this at some point. It's actually interesting, the legacy of, like, I looked into this, how a lot of them are fighting over the names, like the children that they have, of, like, can you be El Santo Jr.? And then it's like, no, you can't be, because, like, I'm his direct descendant, but also this person exists. And then also with Blue Demon, it's a whole thing. So you might have one of those. Who knows?
They got to do a tournament. They got to do a tournament to decide. That's the only way. I've seen anime. I know how this works.
I'd watch a dog tournament arc.
If you're a Santos, a Blue Demon, or a Dracula or a Wolfman, please send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. And other than that, we'll see you again in 2 weeks. We're gonna have a little bit of a break here. We've got. Besides just the hurricane, we also do need some time off occasionally, so we're going to take a week off, and we'll be back with episode 150 in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody.
151. This is 150. You messed up.
I thought I said
you fucked up.
Yeah, next week is El Santo E the Blue Demon versus the Hurricane Dog.
Oh, God. Oh God, that's Dracula's entrance music!